Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew Arkey, Head of Communications for Steemit, and today I'm here with Elizabeth Powell, the Managing Director of Steemit. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good. So maybe we can start by just giving a little background about what you did before you came to Steemit and then how you came to Steemit.
Wow, I can't imagine life before Steemit. That's kind of funny. It's a good question. My background is in marketing and advertising. I received a journalism degree from Texas A&M and have lived in Austin for over 20 years. And in that time have worked at solely advertising agencies, being in account service for a majority of that time, and then moving over to new business and then just management of the account service team. So the bulk of my career has been in account management, also building teams and building new business processes and bringing on new clients. So after 20 years in the ad business, it tends to run its course. And at the time, this time last year, actually, I was looking to change directions. Didn't know too much about the crypto space, just enough to be dangerous. And then ran into a couple of fine folks at Steemit. And one of them had a t-shirt. I inquired about what is Steemit, immediately was intrigued, and basically asked if they were looking for anyone in communications or marketing. They happened to be hiring at the time. So right time, right place. I was very fortunate and landed the job this time a year ago. Yesterday was my 1-year anniversary. So came on as head of communications. And then when we did our reorganization late fall, Ned and the board put me in the position as managing director. And so that's where I've been doing for the last 6 months.
What I think happened was everybody saw what a great job you're doing building the communications team and the marketing team at Steemit, and even the community saw it. But right as you were about to start like galloping, right, we were hit with this huge reorg, and everybody made the right call of saying, well, she's done such a great job of building this internal team. Let's put her in charge of turning this thing around. So maybe now you can talk about what has happened over the course of the 6 months. What have we been doing to make sure that Steemit is sustainable and scalable as a business?
So thank you for the compliments too. We did come in and immediately build a very great, robust communications team. Everything from social media, public relations, graphic design, copywriting, of course, your wonderful content and writing and all that you do. When we decided we needed to focus, reorganize everything, that unfortunately led to some layoffs and just a complete reorganization of Steemit Inc. And so the number one effort that we've been focusing on has been cost cutting. So with the market the way it was last fall and still remains, we really had to focus on our costs. I think, when you're in a different market, a complete opposite market scenario, you're not so much focused on particular costs. And these were some substantial costs. So, for example, our AWS bills to run the blockchain and Steemit.com were upwards of $220,000 a month. That's insane. That is, Ned said it the other day, said if every website cost this much to run, there would be no internet. So what we began to do very quickly, hard and fast, with a extremely nimble team, was look at where could we cut costs. The first thing that we did was launch HiveMind, which was very critical in our first cost reduction. So HiveMind allowed
it 50%. I think it reduced the cost of our nodes 50%.
You are correct. Yeah, because running the nodes had become really astronomical with all the sharing that was happening on condensers. So we were able to launch HiveMind very quickly. That was a big win, as well as other continued cost-cutting measures just from infrastructure. We also have done some things as far as how we host our images. Mira, which is actually in production today, which you did an announcement on Steemit blog, that will also dramatically reduce our blockchain costs. So those savings are yet to be determined. So very proud to report that all of the back end work, I won't go into the technical details. We have gone from, like I mentioned in December, a $220,000 bill to May's estimated bill is $37,000. So that's an amazing, amazing job by the team. It's made a huge difference in our bottom line. And we will continue to work on cost cutting. There are still probably about 3 more weeks worth of work where we could shave hopefully upwards of 8 to 10 more thousand a month. And at that point, I'll feel very comfortable that we have pretty much exhausted all efforts from a cost cutting perspective. And other costs too have been saved over the last 6 months, just basic operating costs, infrastructure costs, like moving our lease from downtown to not being at 6 in Congress in the heart of downtown. We're saving $18,000 a month in rent. Looking at all the different licenses and subscriptions that we're no longer using, all of those things have dramatically saved operating costs. So we're hitting our goals, we're hitting our milestones. I feel like we have just a few more things that we can do regarding that AWS bill, but we are doing really well when it comes to cost cutting.
Well, we're also generating revenue now, right?
Yes, we are. Boy, that's a interesting business model, right? So yeah, prior to January, Steemit Inc. had not done anything to generate revenue. We were basically just fronting the cost to run the blockchain, run Steemit.com, and all the other APIs running off of our nodes. So how can we generate revenue, and why not tap into Steemit.com? We have really good daily traffic, consistent monthly page views. I mean, it's a very well-trafficked, well-visited site. So we began in January just with the basic AdSense. Let's just throw it out there and see what happens. And then we can optimize from there. So what we found was really with just turning on AdSense, we have since January brought in $3,000 a month with doing very little. So that was great to find out, like, okay, our traffic is generating the right eyeballs. Our SEO and SEM is up there, and without doing any promotion. So again, this is just all organic. We haven't done anything to outside promote the fact that you can advertise on Steemit other than some of our own banner ads. So then we began creating our own programmatic ad deals. We have a media kit on Steemit.com. @Bird Inc. is managing that process. So bringing a lot of leads in and then working the contacts that we have through exchanges and just various other businesses to let people know that you can advertise on Steemit. Click-through rates are very impressive. So what we can tell so far is that advertising on Steemit.com is not only good for us for generating revenue, but it's also good for those businesses to get the type of users that come to Steemit.com are showing beneficial. So we have very good CPM rates. We're trying to make it the best experience from an advertising perspective. I think nowadays most people are just accustomed to ads. We don't even particularly see them, but if we can bring in the right type of advertisers, the good, to match content that's on the site, then it should be relevant for our users.
Well, and it's good for our users too, because it enables us to create more open source software at a more rapid pace. And I think that reflects in how they are responding to the ads and the click-through rate, because they understand that this is an important part of ensuring the sustainability and scalability of the Steem ecosystem. So maybe now you could shift gears to talking about what the future looks like. So we've talked about the last 6 months. What are the next 6 months going to look like?
So I would say the next 6 months, and we also have the roadmap on Steemit.com. If you go to About Steemit Inc., you can read more detail about our roadmap. So we will continue to refine the advertising program. It's still not where it needs to be. I would consider it still in its infant stages. I feel like the potential is really there. And so we have a few other strategies that we're going to be testing out. We will use another 3 to 4 weeks on cost cutting, and we'll always keep our eye on that, making sure that, the ship stays on course. But like I said, at some point, we're going to reach the point where we've reached our max on cost cutting. And so that means we're going to move into communities, which we have a roadmap for that. Bring back communities that will also have a built-in ad revenue sharing incentive programs that we can bring in great moderators that have wonderful community members to let them share in this ad revenue program. That's all still yet to be scoped out, but want to think about that now sooner than later. And then SMT, so the blockchain team, their work on Mira is pretty much wrapped up. There is a hard fork coming up, so let's go ahead and tell the fine folks out there it's coming mid-June.
The Steam proposal system.
Yes, thank you for the Steam proposal system for the Steam DAO. So they are finishing up a few tweaks on that, but then really their focus moves to SMTs, which I know a lot of people are excited about. Anytime we just mention those three little letters, we get a lot of yay. So that is a reality. We have two really great engineers that are really excited to start working on that and move off of Mira. So SMTs, communities, improving the ad program, improving our revenue generating sources, and communications. That's where you come in. So part of the reorganization was putting you where you needed to be as head of communications and advocacy. And so I know that you'll continue to just improve and increase our communications. You've got this podcast, you've got the Steam marketing blog, Twitter is really going well, all the YouTube action. So yeah, I see just more communication coming out of you. Hopefully I'll be able to do the same, being involved in Discord and all the various channels. But again, staying on course, staying focused, making sure costs stay down and revenue is going to go up so that we can sustain ourselves and be well poised when and if the market does decide to get out of this current situation. So improving Steemit.com, improving UI, UX. We've already been knocking out some fun, simple little features like the downvote and the featured post. There is a list of community pull requests that Roadscape has already looked at. So some quick wins coming up, and then in the long term, communities and SMTs.
Sounds great. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're super busy, and I'm sure the community will appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. This was fun. Let's do it again.